Zeolite is a supplement marketed as a heavy metal detoxifier, believed to trap toxins and remove them from the body. Over the last 7 years, it has increased in popularity, becoming a household name within the natural health community. Its popularity has been fueled by sales reps on social media who promote it as a miracle cure for conditions like autism, ADHD, and many more. These reps claim it's safe for all ages to take, even for babies. But behind the glowing testimonials lies a darker truth. Many customers who trusted these promises experienced severe, rapid health decline, both for themselves and their children. When they spoke out, they were silenced. They were blocked by sales reps and removed from social media groups, left to feel isolated and alone. One Instagram page, Nutrition Elements, became a platform for their voices and a safe haven for hundreds of people who had been harmed by zeolites and silenced and bullied by the sales reps. Today, I'm bringing some of those hidden stories to light. Many have refused to speak out for fear of ridicule, but a few brave individuals agreed to share their experience. These are their stories.
In early 2021, I was deep in my, oh my gosh, me and my entire family were sick and we're full of all these heavy metal toxifications because of all the social media posts I had been reading and all the anxiety in the world. So um, I went ahead and ordered 3 bottles of TRS for the great price of $150. Um, and I still have the PDF they emailed me, right after I emailed, and I just looked at it recently, and it's infuriating because it's a very long document, basically telling you all the reasons that you need this, and you made the best decision to help you and your family. And I bought three. Went on the subscription program, and I bought 3 bottles, probably 4 times, I think, according to my files. So for over a year, me, my husband, and my 2 children were taking 3 to 5 sprays a day until I pieced together that my 13-year-old's eczema and anxiety were flaring out the roof. He developed the top of his foot, became like he'd had eczema his whole life and never, it was just dry skin. And the top of his foot started as like a small little patch, and it turned into a raw, his entire top of his foot turned into a raw piece of skin. Um, and he's an athlete, so we were dealing with trying to play sports, and he's in so much excruciating pain because of it, and it kept growing and growing. Um, we tried all kinds of products to help with that as well. So at the same time, my husband, who had never had any skin issues, started getting a patch on his foot as well and having extreme joint pain at the patch. And he's an athlete, and he doesn't complain about much, and it was super painful for him. And then me personally, yeah, I started developing gray hair. I got a ton of lymphatic issues started. I gained about 30 to 40 pounds. Um, Depression and thyroid issues and all kinds of things. And then my younger child had a bunch of issues as well that we're still dealing with to this day, including severe anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, um, to the point where even right now my husband is sleeping in his room with him, and we're having a really hard time. So it's here we are 2, 3 years later, and we're still dealing with the effects of it.
How old are your children?
And they're now 13 and 15. So they took it for a year when they were 11 and 13.
Two boys.
2 boys.
And your youngest he told you he's feeling suicidal.
For the last year and a half. Yeah. Which is, as a parent, when those words come out of your child's mouth, there's nothing that can prepare you for that.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
And so young.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they just told you that there were no side effects and everything would improve. When you experienced the first negative symptoms, did you share that with the TRS reps?
I did not, and I actually didn't piece things together. We had just moved from the Midwest to Florida, so we were in a different everything. And my family was adjusting to the weather and the humidity and whatnot. And at first, I thought my son's skin issues was because of that, and playing sports outside. I don't know. I wasn't maybe quite thinking straight, and I wasn't thinking that I had been poisoning my family for a year, you know. So it wasn't until I saw all of Kaylee's stories that everything just clicked into place, and I said, "Oh my god!" So we stopped immediately. At that point, we were taking it every day faithfully for a year. Yeah.
For your right. And then as soon as you saw Kelly's stories, it just made sense why you're experiencing all these symptoms.
Right.
So many other people, thousands of people were experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
And there was a range of symptoms.
And it was so powerful to see that all coming out day after day after day. It was horrifying, but it was also, in a way, made my heart feel a bit better that I wasn't the only one, and there are other people going through it. And I also was really thankful to Reclamation Organics because her tallow products actually were the saving grace for my son's foot. Um, and it helped us a lot. I wish she was still making them, but so that was a wonderful connection that was made too.
Did you try and reach out to anyone about the symptoms, or you just tried to deal with it on your own?
So I don't like regular doctors. We don't go to the regular doctor if we can avoid it. So I was trying to do things on my own. I did email Kosova with a request for a full refund for that year of products, and also letting them know that my husband and my child had had adverse reactions. And I got an email back from them about a month later, basically wanting a checklist of information from me, including what doctor's visits I had scheduled and hospitalization records and all this stuff that, I didn't necessarily want to provide or have for them. So their response to my request was, well, you need to prove it to us, right? Uh,
Yeah.
and I have that email as well.
Did you reply to that, or did you just give up at that stage because they weren't helpful at all?
I just gave up at
Yeah,
that stage, and I'm just focused on helping my family.
yeah. It's so strange to me that Kosovo, at least I know of the reps, they seem to be very anti medical establishment,
Correct.
but then the company wants you to go to the mainstream doctor and hospital. I don't know, it just doesn't add up.
It does not. It makes no sense.
And you don't need to prove to a doctor, you don't need doctor records to prove, like you could have just sent photos, and
Correct.
anyone can see there's a problem here. I took your products. I didn't. You weren't taking anything else that could have caused this.
No.
Uh, yeah. So the right thing to do would have just been at least give you a refund at the bare minimum. They couldn't
Yeah.
do that.
No, I mean, they couldn't even say, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, yeah.
None of
That
that.
was,
It was prove it.
and how are they? How are your children doing now? How are you doing? How's your husband?
Yeah, my husband's issues have subsided, thankfully. Um, my son's skin issues, which we had healed at a certain point and it went away. It took every day, 3 times a day for about a year to get the first skin patch on his foot to heal. I've never seen anything like it. It was so raw. We did it religiously 3 times a day at least, and then it went away, and then about 4 months later it came back. So now I'm dealing with it again. It starts as a small patch and it just expands, and now it's like the top half of his foot. um So it's really challenging again. Um, right now, the I haven't been focusing as much on myself because my 13-year-old is having such a hard time. So he went from being the sweetest, happiest, carefree kid to having such dark thoughts and just doesn't see a way out sometimes. It's horrible.
When did you start noticing a change in his behavior and his outlook on life?
About a year and a half ago. So probably after taking the product for 5 to 6 months, I would say. I didn't, and maybe I didn't notice things before that because I had been dealing with my older son um, and his issues. So it's possible that it was going on earlier and I just didn't pick up on it. But the intensity of it was about 5 to 6 months after starting him on it. And it's just progressed from there. So we're in the thick of it right now. Yeah, so well one we now homeschool, so my kids are home with me and honestly I spend most of my time with them just being their sounding board and listening to them and letting them get their thoughts and feelings out. They know that me and my husband are there for their 100 them for 100%. Um I do massage on them. I do reflexology on their feet and their hands. Um, those are kind of the main things, other than the, 3 times a day, we're doing nourishing oils and magnesium lotion and anything else I can think of.
Sounds like a full-time job.
It really is, in addition to already working a full time job as well. I work from home. So
And I know you're distracted by all that, but yourself, how are you doing?
oh, forgot to mention myself, didn't I? I've had a really hard couple years, to be honest with you. A lot of depression issues as well and anxiety. I went from being in like kind of the best shape of my life when we moved here a couple years ago to not even recognizing myself in the mirror. And the lymphatic issues in particular have been really challenging. My face and my neck and my arms are just, I feel swollen all the time. I'm doing biofulvic and selenium and magnesium and rebounding on a trampoline, and I've got a vibration plate, and I'm doing all of the things. And I'm also trying to. I've started acupuncture recently to help with stress, but it's just been challenging. My husband recently lost his job, so we've got that stress on us. Yeah, it's been a hard time. I'm sorry, I'm crying through this whole thing.
Hey, that's okay. Well, you seem to me like a very strong woman, and I respect that.
Thank,
And I just hope it gets easier.
thank you.
I think this will be very helpful to see just how it affected people and what everyone's going through. Everyone has their own struggles, but
I've never fully even talked about this to anyone. So this is actually therapeutic for me. So thank you. I appreciate you and I appreciate Kaylee and all that you're doing. Um, support you 100%.
and we appreciate you for speaking out because so many people are too afraid to speak out.
Yeah. At this point, once they start messing with my kids, there's nothing. Whatever else you need, let me know.
Do you think there should be any legal repercussions because of it, for the products they've sold and the damage they've done?
Absolutely. not only the damage they've done, but how they've handled it. It's just outrageous. And they're continuing to sell this shit and to pregnant women and to children. It's infuriating. So absolutely, I'll support that 100%.
And a lot of people are told that when there's negative reactions, they're told it's detox symptoms, that you just need to push through and eventually it will get better. What's your opinion on that?
That makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. And I trust my body, I trust my children's bodies. And when they start doing things that they've never done before, and that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
No,
it's told backwards.
it's completely backwards. And I wish these people could just have to live a day in the life of navigating this as a family and dealing with the physical, mental, emotional, financial strain that it has done. It's infuriating.
What would you say to anyone considering buying TRS or any other zeolite products?
Oh, please do not. Please do not put that anywhere near you or your family. Um, please don't. And it's not just a negative reaction, like a simple thing that then you take a pill and it goes away. These things last years. It's daily pain and agony in some cases, and beautiful children that are being, losing their mind a little bit. It's insane. And I had to apologize to my family. I apologized to my husband and my children. And you know, I'm always as a mom, you're doing your best every step of the way, but you
Yeah,
do mess up. And I'll I have to forgive myself for that too.
yeah. They know you had your heart in the best place, and we know, everyone knows, and it's not your fault. You know, it's the companies to blame, it's the sales reps to blame.